Hello, hello, lovely people, and welcome back to another episode of The Podcast. I'm your host, Cass.
And I'm Felix.
And this week, Felix got to pick the movie, and he picked...
Breaking Dawn.
I wish. That would be so amazing. Guys, please let us know if you want us to cover the whole Twilight Saga, because you would make my dreams come true. Please let us know. But anyways.
Yeah, no, I picked 50-50, which came out in 2011.
Yes.
Which also has that star that's also in Twilight.
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
And it also has, I want to say her name is Bryce Dallas Howard, but she plays Victoria in not Twilight, but in New Moon and Eclipse. She plays Victoria.
Victoria.
So, yeah.
Anyways, we're not talking about Twilight. We're talking about 50-50.
But I wish we were, guys.
But yeah, so there's a lot of similarities as to this and Twilight, which is kind of like a little bit of a reason that I picked it. It's only, it has like the same actress. It has, it's settled in Washington State, but instead of being Forks, we're actually in Seattle. And yeah, who's your... I mean, I personally like Seth Rogen more than, your boy.
I love Justin Gordon-Levitt. Is that how you say his name? Levitt?
I say Levitt.
Levitt?
But yeah, you guys could let us know, in our Instagram who's saying it right.
Yeah, I'm maybe saying it wrong, honestly. And you can let me know. Just do it nicely. Be like, no, hun, that's not it. And I will be like, okay, got it. Thank you.
But yeah, like it starts off with Joseph, who is Adam in this movie. He's, jogging through the city of Seattle.
With his old iPod, by the way.
The iPod Classic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see like parts of Seattle. He's literally on 4th and Pike.
And which is where that is.
Yeah, it's by the Needle.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah. Anyways, you can kind of see from the get-go, he's pretty cautious. He likes to wait for the signal to cross the street. He's always checking both ways. But yeah, here's where we basically start getting to learn and see how Adam is.
And he gets like a back cramp while like walking or jogging, which is like a little foreshadowing right at the beginning.
Yeah. But you could see later, just in the next scene, they're at this coffee store. And he's just like rubbing his back. And then you get to kind of meet more of Seth Rogen, who is Kyle in this movie.
It's hilarious. Yeah. In all films, Seth Rogen just... Yeah, he really gets me. Like, he says some jokes that they just... They get me. They just get me. I'm laughing for like a few solid minutes.
Yeah, like Adam, who's, Joseph, he's like rubbing his back. He's like, oh man, it's kind of hurting. And then obviously Seth Rogen with the punniness. He's like, are you fucking in weird positions?
Yeah. He's like, man, have you been fucking in weird positions? That was so funny. Yeah. And then I made a note that he was like biting his nails, and like Seth Rogen is like, yo, that's gross. And I was like, that is gross. That's disgusting. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I have a thing with like biting nails. Ugh. So I was like, yeah, Seth, you right. Well, Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle.
But I mean, here's kind of like where you learn about, Adam doesn't actually drive. He has to get picked up, or he takes the bus. And that's why he's with Seth Rogen, or Kyle.
Yeah, which is wild because he's 27 years old and he doesn't drive. Yeah.
But yeah, you learn that they both work at a radio station. They're coming up with stories to like put on the radio. Adam is clearly very, very invested in Volcano. He's trying to do a Mount Moa story. He's been working on it for like 6 months. Yes. And then Seth Rogen's like, dude, nobody's going to want to fucking like listen to that on the radio. They're just going to like fucking pee their way through and just get done with it. So.
Yeah. Because these are not like long stories. It's like just like a few minutes that they have to like tell their quick little like story. It's not like the news, I guess, on TV.
Yeah, it ain't, the official podcast.
I don't listen to the radio anymore. I just listen to Spotify. So I forgot that like the radio has ads or like little news blurbs. But then I was like watching this movie. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, makes sense.
But granted, this is also set like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and everybody was listening to the radio.
Yeah, I remember. I was still in high school.
I was in high school too. I was a junior.
So here, we cut through the next scene. Adam is at the hospital getting his back checked out because he's just like, man, like what's going on? And here's where we find out that he has a malignant tumor.
Yeah. Also, this doctor's fucking rude as fuck. Okay?
Yeah, he's just strictly speaking to his his recorder. He's just like saying some random ass shit like
yeah, he's like blurting out
shawarma.
these terms, and he's like not like simplifying them for like the patient, like no bedside manner at all. Like how rude. You have to tell a person that they have cancer, and he doesn't even straight up tell Adam he has cancer. He's just like, oh well, this like in just casually in passing about the pain. He's like, so with this type of cancer, but he's never just like, well, unfortunately you have cancer. And I was like, that's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
And Adam just doesn't get it. He's like, I jog, I eat healthy, I recycle.
he's so cute.
But yeah, so he's obviously shocked. There's like a scene in the movie where it's kind of like he's going deaf, or he's like zoning out.
Yeah.
And he's like looking out the window. And I mean, like, obviously because cancer.
The sound just like starts drowning out of like that scene, and it's like it reminds me of like Charlie Brown, where the teacher's like wah 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 wah. Yeah, like
very
he's like,
muted.
Yeah.
But eventually he tells Kyle that he has cancer, and Kyle, or Seth Rogen, being who he is, he's just like, oh god, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, but before that, he tells his girlfriend Rachel, who is a bitch, that he has cancer, and like he's like, listen, I have cancer. They told me this. Like, you don't have to stay. I understand that this is like a hard situation, and like I thought that was so big of him, and it shows so much of like how wonderful his character is. And it's just a theme throughout the movie that he tries to like push people away because he doesn't want to hurt anybody. And I think that's just, I don't know, that was like something that I found, like just kind of beautiful in a weird way. He's just like, oh, like this is such a big event that's happening to him, and this is such a funny movie. So I don't know, there was some moments where I just like stepped back and started thinking, and I was like, damn, do you know what it is to just be diagnosed with something that is so insane, so literally like life threatening, and he's still trying to look out for the feelings of others? And I don't know, it kind of like hit me hard, and I was like, but then right after you have like the scene with Kyle, which is like awesome comedic relief. Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah, he's basically telling him like, so I mean, what do you have? Like, are you gonna be okay? Like, what's your percentages? Like, and he's like, oh, it's like 50-50. And then Kyle's like, dude, if you were a casino game, you'd have the best odds. So
that's right.
Yeah, so he's just like, dude, don't worry. Like, fucking Lance Armstrong had it, then he beat it, then he had it again, and then he beat it, and then he's just like, fuck, you'll be fine. You're young. You're not old.
Yeah, I think, like I said, one thing that this movie does well is like take such a serious topic and have very intense moments with it, but also find the way to make this, obviously it is like a comedy, and they find the way to give that like almost instant comedic relief, and it works very well in this film. It's like it can be appreciated, Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then we find out also that when he's talking to Kyle, that Adam hasn't told his parents, well, mainly his mom, because his dad has like terrible Alzheimer's and like doesn't remember anything. So then he kind of has to tell his mom, and he invites her over for dinner to tell her about like his diagnosis.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like an awkward, like cringy scene because he's there with Rachel.
Yeah. And Rachel's a bitch. I will say this several times throughout.
Yeah, she has it like highlighted, underlined, like, I mean, in bold.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
I wrote down like she didn't even respond when his mom was like, well, who's gonna take you to all these appointments? Because his mom knows that he doesn't drive.
Yeah.
So his mom was like, I'm gonna move in. I'm gonna start living with you. And like he's like, no, you cannot live with me. This is not gonna happen. And then she's like, well, who's going to take you to all your appointments? And he literally, like, Adam has to stare at Rachel for, like, a solid 10 seconds before she's like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm like, bitch, this should not have been like this. Like, you should have automatically, like, if you are going to take him, just say yes. And if not, just, like, I don't know, say who is going to take him. But I don't know. That was just, like, that was already, like, sketchy as fuck for me. I was like, no, I don't like this girl.
Super red flag.
Yeah, like at this point still, like I thought it was like she was whatever, but that was like the first like red flag where I was like, oh no, honey.
Yeah.
So That's what happens there. And then I think he starts therapy, right?
Yeah, he starts counseling with Dr. Catherine McKay.
Yes, which is played by Anna Kendrick, and
Yeah.
she's adorable.
Love her.
Yes.
And she's 24 in this movie, and she's only had 3 other patients.
Yeah.
So clearly he's like, oh, so I'm like your fucking test dummy.
Yeah. It's like the whole therapy session beginning is like too much. Like it's just like very awkward, you know? I think like he's just feeling like reluctant that he's her third patient. He just got this like, huge not good news.
Yeah.
So I think it's just funny. It's like a funny, awkward kind of like moment. Like she's trying to laugh it off, which I totally understand because I'm the first person that just tries to laugh off awkward moments, and he's just like, what the fuck? Like I might die and I am your third patient. Like what is this, So it's understandable, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly trying, but she's also like, oh, let's just do like a meditation step, where they put music and it's just like, just lie down. He's like, really?
Yeah.
And then I guess the next scene is where they're at the radio station and Kyle hosts a party to celebrate Adam's life. Clearly people are drinking and they're saying the dumbest shit. I have a bunch of quotes, like this girl, one of the coworkers, she's like, you know what the secret is to beating this? And then it just cuts it over because obviously it's like whatever she says is dumb as fuck. And then this other guy's like, my uncle had what you had. And it's obviously like he doesn't know what the fuck.
Oh, this is the scene where everybody's just talking to Adam.
Yeah,
like,
at the radio
Adam's
station.
just sitting there like...
Yeah, he clearly don't want to be there.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're already like stressed out enough in this situation, and now everybody's trying to like relate to you. Like, guys, just be there for him, but like you don't need to like...
Yeah.
I don't know, do the most,
Yeah, like his boss is like crying. He's like... Just take the time that you need for your project.
And the only thing he asks is like, so can I still do that story on Mount Moa? He's like, yes, take all the time you need on it. Adam's like, all right, perfect. Like,
yeah, I kind of love what's coming up next is where Adam is getting dropped off at the hospital for his first chemotherapy.
Wait. But before he gets dropped off, he gets home and he meets Skeletor, the dog that Rachel adopted for him. Yeah. And then he's like...
It's a retired race dog.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want this retired old race dog. And Rachel's like, okay, we'll take him back where he'll get raped by all the other dogs until he dies. I was like, damn, bitch. Like, my God, way to make him feel bad. Like, you just showed up with this dog. And the dog, like, he builds a bond with it, like, throughout the movie. So that's cute to see. But at the beginning, he's just like, I don't know, I can't imagine that you just got told you have cancer. You're 27 years old. You have so many other plans ready for your life. And then like big events keep happening. Like people are throwing you parties and now you're getting a dog. And it's like, I need some time. Like I can imagine him being like, I need some time. I haven't even fully processed this. So, but then he's just like, I'll keep the dog, yo. I'm keeping the dog.
Yeah.
And then you're right. Then she's dropping him off at the hospital for chemo.
Yeah. And I feel like here we meet some of the best cast members.
But before we meet the cast members, we realize that she's a bitch even more. Because she's like...
She always want to mix the energy.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to mix the energies of like our relationship and your chemotherapy. Like, bitch, your man has cancer, okay? This is his first round of chemo. The least you could do is get off the fucking car and sit there with him and be supportive. But no. She's like, I don't really like hospitals. Like, yeah, nobody likes hospitals. Fun fact, nobody likes hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been like, woo, we're going to the hospital today. Like, no, nobody says that. But, you can be supportive and go to his first round of chemo with him. But no, none of that.
Yeah, nobody says, like, let's fucking, like, take some shots and then go to the hospital and hang out.
Yeah, like, no, nobody's ever, like, if you have a friend in the hospital, like, I feel like when you go to visit them, you do have to, like, even if they're just, like, a quick outpatient procedure, like, I like to, like, mentally prepare because it's, like, the hospital's just not, like, a good time. So, but still, your boyfriend has cancer. You should be supportive. Anyways, now we meet the best characters.
Yeah, some of the best characters. And, it's not who you... Or I guess it is people that you might suspect as in older people who have kind of like lived out some of their life and then now they have cancer, but you just don't expect them to be so fucking cool. Like it's Alan and Mitch.
Yes.
Alan's like the dude with hair. He's like a little bit older.
He's the older one, yeah.
And then Mitch is kind of like the taller, skinnier, bald guy.
Yeah.
But they just have some of the best lines. I mean, Alan's like, he's trying to get him to have some weed brownies. And then
weed cookies. They're weed macaroons.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he's trying to get him high.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, dude, just get high with us, And then, Mitch is kind of like, oh, so what do you have, And then Adam's like, yeah, it's shawarma.
Yeah.
Something. And then Mitch is like, tough break, man. The more syllables, the worse it is.
I liked before that when like Alan's like, would you like some macaroons? My wife made them or whatever. Or Mitch's wife made them. And he's like, Adam's like, oh, no, thank you. And then he's like, they have weed. And he's like, no, I don't do weed. And he's like, just do weed with us and eat these.
Man.
Like,
just get fucking high with us.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, so funny.
Yeah, and then he's like, so how much is it? And the other guy's like, oh, they're strong.
Strong.
But yeah, they basically all get super high when they're getting chemo. Yeah. And then Adam has to he's kind of like the last one in that group, so he's like the last one to leave.
Yeah.
And he's like leaving out the hospital by himself,
my
and he's just like zoning in and out of the hallway.
High as shit,
high as fuck. Like he's trying to hold his giggles. He sees like somebody with like an injury on a bed. He's just like holding it in, bursting out laughing.
Then he somebody passes with a gurney, and the gurney's like completely covered up in like black tarp, insinuating that like the person has died, and that's when he starts laughing too. I'm like,
yeah,
ooh, it's rough out here,
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I think after that, it's just kind of him at home sleeping, and he wakes up in the middle of the night and starts like vomiting from the chemo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, a rough scene, and it's sad because you're seeing like the toll that it's taking on him. And then I think he goes back to therapy right after that.
He's at a second session.
Yeah.
But I think it's just kind of more of the same. I do have one quote where he's just telling Catherine, like, because Catherine's trying to do that whole arm reach, like touching him. And he's just like, whoa, you think that's going to make me feel at ease, like being slapped by a sea otter?
Oh, yeah. And they go back and forth for a minute.
Yeah, they're trying to it's like, no, I think it's just because like you're just doing it too like forward. You're just not doing it right.
Yeah. I feel like one thing I did write about that scene, and once again, I noticed like the kind of heartfelt things. I also noticed the funny things, but he's obviously in therapy. He obviously just had his first round of chemo, the day before, maybe a few days before. But he kind of snaps at Catherine for like a minute. And he's just like, this isn't working. Like, your whole therapy is bullshit, pretty much. And then he catches himself for being a little bit rude, and he apologizes. And I just thought like it shows you what a genuine, kind person he is throughout the film. There's little things like this that I wrote down because, once again, like, what a fucking terrible situation. You just found out you had cancer. You just started chemo. You spent all night vomiting, and you snapped at someone, and you still took the time to take a step back and say, damn, I fucked up. That was rude. And like apologize. And I also think in this scene, like Catherine, it shows how hard she is trying to help. Like, she seems very nervous and like she's trying. And I think that like towards the end, the whole little kind of combo that you're talking about with the sea otter slaps, it kind of is also that comedic relief. Like, they have a moment together.
Yeah.
It's cute, it's light, and it's funny and nice. And then I think we go back to the hospital for our second round of chemo after this, right?
No. I think right after this is where they do that famous trailer scene where they're shaving this dude's head.
Oh, you're so right. Okay. I didn't write that down for some reason. Oops.
Yeah. No. So Adam ends up just kind of like that he has cancer.
Yeah,
he's taking it to like the next step. Like, oh, well, I mean, I know I'm going to lose my hair, so might as well just fucking cut it right now.
Yeah.
So he's with Kyle in the bathroom, and he clearly suspects that Kyle uses it for more than just shaving his face, because mainly he has no facial hair.
Yeah.
So he's just like, what the fuck do you use this for? like your ball trimmer, and he's like starting to cut up, and he's just like, no, I really don't. I use it for my asshole.
Yeah. At the end, he's like, yep, no, I used it for my asshole, actually. He's like, all right, bro, cool.
He's like, when's the last time you cleaned this? Like, yeah, I actually never cleaned it.
He just like wipes it on his shirt.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's clean. It's clean.
Yeah, it's just my asshole trimmer. But yeah, right next is the second chemo session.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot is really pictured in the session itself, but we realize that Rachel is a bitch.
This is literally, I wrote this down because I said this out loud while watching the movie, where I don't know if it's Alan or Mitch. I think it's Alan. He's like, how come we've never met Rachel? And I was like, because Rachel's a fucking bitch. Like, me just out loud to the TV. She's a bitch. And then that's when he's like, oh, this is literally like the old men just had the conversation I had pretty much. Like, he's like, oh, she doesn't like hospitals. She doesn't want to mix the energy. And the old man's like, who likes hospitals? Like, what?
Yeah, you don't come to a hospital to have a good time.
Yeah.
But, clearly Rachel said, hey, I'll pick you up after chemo. And she left his ass outside for like 4 fucking hours.
Yeah, and she's late as fuck, okay? And then I get even more pissed, okay? Because he is still giving her an out. You see, I get so frustrated, I just stumble on my words. Like, man, I feel very passionate about how much I dislike Rachel.
Yeah.
But he tells her, Adam, it's like, listen, you don't have to do this. Like, it's fine. Don't pick me up. Like, he is just still giving her an out. Like, you don't have to do this. Just let me know and I'll find a different ride. And you don't have to be my girlfriend right now. I understand this is hard. And she's like, no, I love you so much. I'm so sorry. It was one time. Can't you forgive me? And this is when I'm like, wow, Rachel, you're a fucking conniving, manipulative bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? But it gets worse.
Yeah, I love how she's trying to defend it so much right now. And then literally, like, it doesn't take... Not even probably like a day later in the movie where she just fucks up so much.
Yeah, and this scene is hilarious because like just Seth Rogen, Kyle, like his character Kyle, is fucking hilarious throughout
he's on
this
point.
whole thing.
Yeah,
like he's on a date with like this girl.
Yeah,
that he met at the bookstore.
Yeah.
At the art gallery, and then like he sees Rachel with like some like hippie looking dude,
some Jesus looking motherfucker, and then he's like
I fucking got her. Like he's just so passionate.
I got you. I fucking got. No. Yeah, like he, obviously the date doesn't go very well.
It doesn't because he's like, I got this fucking cunt, and then like the girl's like, and she walks away, and he's like, I'm sorry, and then like he just like says I'm sorry to the girl like real quick, but then he's like, fuck that bitch. Like I have bigger issues, bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, because it's so funny. Like Rachel ends up going back home to Adam's house, and Adam is waiting on the couch. He's just like trying to. He's waiting for his girl, who, it's understandable.
Who's a bitch.
Yeah, who's a bitch, yeah. And then he's trying to get, like, some cuddles or a hug, and she's just like, oh, fake yawn. I'm so tired. Can we just go to the bedroom? And then here comes Kyle.
Knock, knock, knock.
Not even a knock. He fucking walks in there. He knows what the fuck is up. And he's just like, hey, yeah, how are you guys going? I was just nearby. I thought I'd drop in, and... So I was on this date. Clearly, it didn't go very well. Probably from the inappropriate use of my foul language. But yeah, while I was there, surprisingly, I stumbled upon Rachel. Yeah, and
Rachel's like, what? No. Like she's like, what?
Yeah, and I love how he just builds up. He's like, so yeah, I saw Rachel, and who would have guessed it? She was fucking making out with this Jesus looking motherfucker. Fucking disgusting. I fucking got your ass. I couldn't stand you from the beginning, and now I have a good reason why. Ooh.
He shows the picture. He goes, exhibit whore. And he's like, I have evidence that you suck as a person. Like, he's so excited about all this. I think Kyle is the realest motherfucker ever. I also would like to say, Rachel is a fucking piece of shit. I don't know because I don't know. I guess people cheat. I don't. That's just me personally. I don't know how you can cheat on someone. But much less the fact that you can cheat on a man who has cancer, who has given you an out from this relationship twice, you're a fucking bitch. And there is no other way to put it. That is it. That is it. Seth Rogen's line is accurate. I have evidence that you suck as a person. He said it best. Okay.
Yeah. And then, you know, he's like, oh, I'll just go to the kitchen, give you guys some space.
Oh, yeah.
And
when they're like
Rachel
talking.
is just like, honey, I'm so sorry. Like, she's just coming up with fucking shit out of her ass. And then,
but like, hold on, because Adam is like, Rachel, is this true? Did you cheat on me? And she's like, no, but honey, maybe it's just that, yes. I'm like, I can't fucking stand this bitch. Like, I'm glad she finally just owned up to it and was like, yes. But like, this whole beating around the bush shit. And then, yeah, after this, Seth Rogen's in the kitchen.
Yeah. I can't fucking stand this bullshit any longer. You need to leave your gross Jesus hippie loving weirdo out of here. Like, the lines.
Seth Rogen was great. Like, especially in this whole, like, section. He's great throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Rachel just keeps saying, like, baby, we'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And he's like, no. Get your shit and leave.
Yeah.
It's like, just leave.
He's like, what's there to talk about? Get out of here.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah. Seth Rogen is like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of my friend's house.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, you know, obviously that's like, it's a funny scene, but then the tone is kind of, you know, on a downer.
Yeah.
That's sad and it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, like, literally the next morning, they're just, like, walking the dog. And Adam is just like, yeah, you know, Kyle's trying to hype him up. And Adam is just like, I don't know, man. Like, what's left? And he's just like, no one wants to fuck me. I look like Voldemort.
Yeah. I can't. I also love how, like, him and the puppy end up, like, cuddling and stuff. Like, at first he was so reluctant to have this dog, and then, like, they're cuddling, and it's so cute. Yeah, and then Kyle's like, we gotta meet chicks. We gotta get you to fuck chicks.
Yeah, he's just convinces him, and, you know, it's like, you have cancer. That's your hook. You got to get them. And you know, they eventually go out to the club, and they meet some girls, and, you know, it's like, you know, it's a couple of trials, and it's like, first of all, they start with, hey, how's it going? I have cancer. And he's like, oh, God, no, that's just too weird. You got to, like, ease into it. So then the next couple didn't work out, but then eventually in later in the night, you know, they find these two girls, and I think they go from, like, the club to, like, a diner.
Yeah, it's like a diner thing, and that's where he takes off his, like, beanie.
Yeah. And
like, can we touch your head? He's like, yeah, I have cancer. And then they try. First of all, I don't understand how they went from the club to a diner to then a food truck to get hot dogs outside. Like, did y'all not just eat at the diner? Like, how much are y'all eating right now?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good one. I mean, clearly it's been a couple hours. Yeah. So I get, I would get the order of, like, diner, club, hot dog stand.
Yeah, but that's not the order.
That's not the order. It's club, diner, hot dog stand. Yeah. So. And clearly, you know, it's been a long night. Adam is, like, tapping out.
That shit's so funny.
He's, like, tired. He's like, he goes up to Kyle and it's just like, dude, can you just give me an approximate time as to when I'll be having sex?
I think I was like 95 minutes.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to make it 95 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And then, you know, Adam is able to pull a bold move where he's like, hey, can we just go back to my place? I have weed. He ends up scoring, kind of. Yeah. You know, the back pain is just too much, and he can't have this girl ride on him.
Get off me, please. It's going to tire you out. The chemo's going to tire you out.
Yeah.
Like,
the back pain, you can't nut.
The back pain, because it's, like, on his whole entire, like, spinal cord.
Yeah.
Like, of course.
Yeah. He can't be on top or bottom. It just fucking hurts.
Just, poor guy, man. And then I think after this, he goes to his, like, next round of chemo, which we don't really see, I think. But we see him waiting on the bus stop. And that's when Catherine bumps into him. And she's like, I'll take you home. Like, I can't let you take the bus. And he's like, no, really, I'll take the bus. She's like, no. So she drives him home. And, like, he is just so cute. Like, obviously, she's probably adorable, too. But he is so cute because there's, like, this one scene where, like, he kind of just, like, looks over and, like, stares at her and smiles. And it was so subtle, but so adorable. I loved it. And then he just can't deal with the mess in her car. And he's like, pull over right now. I need you to pull over right now. And he just like kind of cleans up this whole mess.
Which Catherine's like, are you going to throw up? Are you fine? And he's just like, I just can't.
And it's like, as soon as he gets in the car, he makes like a comment about like how messy it is.
Yeah.
So then this is like the second time where he's just like, pull over. I need to clean this car out. And you could just tell like that they're crushing on each other hard. Mm-hmm. Like, who are they kidding? They are crushing on each other. Yeah. And it's adorable. I also thought it was funny when like he's trying to throw away all this stuff that just seems to be like lying on the floor of her car. And like she's like, no, not the brown box. That's my lunch. Don't throw that one away. That one's new. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Also can relate because sometimes I'm such a mess, but I know like what is the actual like mess and like what is the actual needed things, even though they might all be grouped together.
Oh, I know. You and your laundry.
I know what's dirty and what's clean. Okay, and that was one time I was moving, okay?
Yeah. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're right. You've been very, very good lately.
You see, I'm very organized now.
And I've never seen your car as messy as Catherine's car.
No.
She had junk like on the top, the back seats, the floor. It was just too much.
It was too much.
So yeah, then we're hanging out at Mitch's house.
And fucking Rachel barges in. Oh, at Mitch's house. Sorry.
At Mitch's house.
Wrong scene.
Pump the brakes. Skirt.
My bad.
So yeah, we're at Mitch's house. And so here's kind of, you're just hanging outside by the... Can we just say, like, that's a beautiful fucking house.
Yeah, and their whole little fire pit and everything outside.
Like the woods.
Really cute. Really nice.
You know, and literally they're just talking shit and they're just bonding. And
wait, no. Rachel shows up and then they go to Mitch's house. Yep. I'm like, my notes say, why the fuck is Rachel here? And then at the end, it's like, Mitch and his wife are so cute.
Oh, she's trying to pick up her shit.
Yeah, she's trying to pick up her shit. You see? Okay, I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad, guys.
I'm right, you're wrong.
Shut up.
Just kidding. That's Eugene's line. I can't use that.
Try Guys Game Time.
Try Guys Game Time. Are we going to get, like, sued? Try Guys are going to be like, the Try Guys don't even know who the fuck we are. Yeah, who am I kidding? Anyways. Yeah. Joke's on me, guys. So, like, I think Adam and Kyle are just sitting watching TV, and Rachel just barges the fuck in. Yeah. Like, opens the door. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then she's like, I'm just here to pick up my stuff, Adam. And like I think Adam actually stands up for himself. And he's like, your shit's in a box.
Yeah.
Outside.
You actually passed it.
Yeah, you passed it.
Yeah.
So he's like, you know, he goes outside though. And then Rachel just tries to kiss him and be all lovey-dovey and be a fucking conniving ass bitch. But then he's like, get the fuck out. Like he's like, leave.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, my art gallery opening was such a disaster. Like, nobody showed up. And then he's just like, yeah, like, I would have showed up if I just didn't hate you so fucking much. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh.
He's really just, like, roasting her. And I love it.
Good shit, bro.
Good shit. He dealt with enough. Yeah. And then we go forward. Skirt.
Now we're at Mitch's house.
Yeah, we're at Mitch's house. Him and his wife are adorable.
Yeah, they're so fucking cute.
So cute.
Like, cute house. Backyard,
cute
fireplace.
Little vibes.
Yeah,
she's also the one that I think bakes the weed.
Yeah,
cookies.
she bakes all the goodies for him. Yeah,
so that's really cute.
And here's like, yo, I don't remember if it was Kyle or Adam, but one of them were just like, so you guys were around before TV, right?
Oh yeah. And they're just like all laughing.
And they're just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, talk about like aging them. Shit.
It was funny.
But
they all laughed. They all had a good laugh. Like that whole little scene is like, I don't know. It just shows like a little like beautiful friendship that's sparked from, you know, the chemo. Obviously Kyle is just supportive of Adam. So, which you see throughout the movie, it's really nice. Mm-hmm. Kyle consistently supports Adam. Yeah. He's there for him. Like, yes, he's always like, oh, like, let's try and find girls to get laid, or like, I'm gonna get you laid. I'm gonna get laid. But that doesn't stop him from being a good friend and always being there when I think like Adam needs support the most. So I think, I don't know, that's just cute to see their friendship throughout.
I just have like, we cut to another scene between Adam and Catherine. Then we go to that like final chemo scene where they find out about Mitch actually died the night before of a heart attack. And I think this has a more profound effect on Adam than when he first found out that he had cancer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um,
It's like sad. He's like, "Where's Mitch? Why isn't he here?"
yeah,
And then Alan's like, "Mitch died last night."
yeah,
And it's like a heartbreaking scene. There's not really much to it. That's kind of the scene, but
yeah.
it's like the silence that comes after, and
Yeah,
like
at
just
the funeral.
yeah,
Yeah, it's it's a few scenes like the funeral. They're burying Mitch, and yeah, not a whole lot happens besides that. And then so now we're at the final like Adam's appointment to see.
Oh, but wait,
There's
because
more.
I thought it was so interesting that Mitch dies, the funeral and stuff, and then right after this, Adam is sitting at home with Skeletor the dog, flipping through channels, and he sees that like
Oh,
Mount
Momoa
Momoa is like
erupting.
erupting
Yeah.
and all the stuff that's going on, and I feel like it shows like this is it, like it's all kind of falling apart as though he feels like things are falling apart with like Mitch's death, and with like he got cancer, he broke up with his girlfriend. The whole thing with Mitch was like kind of like him almost not knowing how to like deal with his emotions, and then you watch like him flipping through channels, and that volcano is erupting, which he's been looking at for so long. And I thought it was just pretty like symbolic of what was going on, and I thought it was cool. It was
Yeah.
like a fun
So
little...
there's actually I wasn't really going to talk about it, but there was actually in that moment where they're at Mitch's backyard and they're talking about like, hey, you were born before TV. They're kind of having this discussion between radio and TV, and it's kind of like, well, what would you prefer to do? And then Mitch says something to the effect of, yeah, if I really just want to find out about information, I just turn on the TV and see what the story is. Versus like Adam is just saying, well, on the radio, we could just like go into more depth and all that. And then Mitch is like, well, clearly I'm gonna have more information from the audio and the visual. And so it's kind of like Adam has been working on the story from Mount Momoa this whole time, but he's been doing it for like radio. So then when he sees like on TV Mount Momoa, it's kind of like a moment where he thinks back to like Mitch, where
Yeah.
like, hey, my whole story has been about Mount Momoa, but like here it is in TV
Yeah.
after he died. So that's
Yeah.
what I think the link is, where he kind of like goes into like a deeper state of like depression and like
Makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, now we're at we're at that final appointment where he has to find out that he has to kind of go through surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just going through a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So he realizes that, hey, I have an appointment coming up. He doesn't have a ride. He tries to reach out to Kyle. Kyle doesn't pick up. And he's just like, well, shit, I have to ask my mom. And, the next day they go and, the doctor being the shithead that he is, he's like, yeah, blah, 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 scleroma, cancer, it's not responding to the chemo and we need to, just see what our options are. And they're just like, well, what the fuck are our options? Like, just, talk to us like regular people. And he's like, oh, well, operate. And here's like, I think another scene where it kind of goes like mute.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah, because the doctor's like, oh, it's kind of time for you to get surgery. And if it doesn't work, like there's no other options.
Yeah.
Like it's no more chemo. Like we don't really have any other options for you.
yeah.
I do like, however, that before like the doctor came in, him and his mom have like this interaction that's like kind of sad because they're both like breaking down, but it seems like they're breaking through to each other,
Yeah.
which is very important because I think at one point Catherine is kind of like, so your dad has Alzheimer's so your mom can't talk to him and you won't talk to your mom, so who does she have to talk to? And I think
Yeah.
after that he kind of like thinks about it.
Yeah,
and
that was deep.
Yeah, and that's when nobody can take him to the appointment, but his mom can. And I think that whole little like breakthrough was like, it was just like a sad but nice scene to see kind of that these walls and barriers are kind of being broken down and stuff.
Yeah.
And then yeah, there's the surgery, and that's his only option.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Adam has like a last hoorah to kind of just, he doesn't know if he's going to come out alive. So he, goes to his best friend, and he's hanging out with Kyle at a park. And they're drinking, they're talking about their past, like high school, and just things that, they wish they could have done differently. And then Kyle gets too drunk. And, here we basically see Adam driving for the first time, and he's doing it in Kyle's car.
And he's doing it reckless as fuck, because you could tell he has no regard for his life anymore. He's like thinking, okay, if the surgery doesn't work, I'm just dead, or we'll die eventually.
Yeah.
And he gets pissed at Kyle. He's like, all you want to do is get fucking laid, and that's it. And I understand where he's coming from. Obviously, he's upset of other things, and Kyle does want to get laid a lot. But I think if you just pay attention to that scene, you're like, damn, that is all his friend wants. But if you look back...
the next scene, though...
Oh, the next scene, yes. But even if you look back, you notice that that's not all his friend wants. And as the movie ends, you also notice that that's not what his friend wants. His friend is there through and through, whether homeboy is like going through rough stuff or good stuff, think about it. Even before he had cancer, homeboy had a girlfriend, like Adam had a girlfriend, and Kyle would still pick him up, given they worked in the same place, but still Kyle would come and pick him up every day to take him to work. So he just kind of blows up, and then he calls Catherine, which Kyle's yelling at him like, don't call Rachel, she's a fucking bitch, don't call your ex. And
I mean, initially me too, like I was like, I hope he's not calling fucking Rachel.
No, but he calls Catherine, and it's so cute, and I might have teared up a little bit, because like he's just talking to her, he's like, I wish you were my girlfriend, and
she'd be a good one.
My heart hurts. And he's like, she says, he's like, I know you'd be a good one. And Catherine's like, girlfriends can be nice. I guess you just had a bad one. And I'm going to cry right now, y'all. Like, that's such a beautiful line. And I think, honestly, once again, this movie had me in my feels. This was not Twilight, where I was just like ranting about the whole thing. I think probably at one point or another, we've all had a situation where like you date someone and it ends so badly, and you're just like, I never want to date again. Like I hate this. I hate this concept. And I think it was just cute that she said that. Like, like relationships can be nice overall. You just had a bad one. And I think everyone needs to hear that. And I'm just having a little sappy moment. I hope you all have great things coming to you in life. But let's continue with the movie.
So he's reaching out to Catherine, and then it kind of gets him some closure, and enough to a point where he's able to continue on with the night. And then they go back to Kyle's place. And Adam Kyle's fucked up, and Adam just has to like tuck him into bed. He goes to the bathroom, and he eventually finds out that Kyle was actually reading books about cancer. And he kind of like has an epiphany. Where, he's like, shit, my friend was actually trying to help me out.
I think his friend, Kyle was a good friend.
I mean, you see the book, it has like notes. And
it has notes. It's like highlighted and underlined. It's really cute. And I think that, they were both not in the right state of mind. Like Kyle's obviously drunk. So like, he can't really defend himself. Not that he would, because I think Kyle's more of like a go with the flow kind of guy. But Adam is also like, he's not drunk. He's just, in his head.
It's overwhelmed.
As expected. And, then the next morning, Kyle is the one driving him to surgery. And they have this little cute like friendship hug in the car. And
it's definitely a good scene. It shows a lot of the vulnerabilities of people and the fears of surgery. And they have a moment in the car.
They do. It's like, it's scary. It's scary when someone you love is going into surgery, and it's scary being a person going into surgery. And Kyle's like, it's like they're so cute because he's like, oh I'll see you right before surgery. I'm just gonna go park the car. And then Adam's like, oh, I don't know if they'll let you in. Like they have to prep me. And Kyle's like, okay, well I'll be there like right when you get out. And then you see the whole surgery scene, which like we'll get into a little bit more. But my favorite part is that while he's in surgery, you know, they show his family, they show everything going on. Kyle parks the car and he just waits in the hospital. That surgery was, I think, like they say, like 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours.
And Kyle parks the car. He waits outside the hospital at first, but then he goes, he sits with the family. Like Kyle does not leave, you know, until he knows that his friend is okay. That's like a long time to just be waiting in a hospital. So I think this also showed like the value of his friendship with Adam, which was really cute, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a heavy scene, especially when you know, they put the anesthesia on him, and he's just like, oh, is it, like you're doing it now, like, and he's just like freaking out, and he's just like, you know, he's looking at his mom, and it's just like, Mom, I'm scared.
I know.
And
it was scary, and I also thought it was so cute that like he's getting ready. This is, I don't know, like I overanalyzed, I guess, certain parts of this movie. But I thought it was very sweet of Adam and very cute and shows what a good person he is. That, you know, he breaks down in the scene right after where he cries for his mom, where they're giving him the anesthesia and all this stuff. But before that, he's about to go into surgery. The surgery is going to, you know, determine about his cancer, if he's not going to have cancer, like what's going on. But his dad, who has Alzheimer's, is like, oh, I just got this new suit. Like, it's so soft. Like, feel it. And he is so kind to his dad. And I thought that was so cute because when someone has Alzheimer's, like, and they just repeat things to you or don't remember anything, you know, you're in a serious situation, you're about to get surgery. It's very easy to pop off and be like, I don't fucking want to talk to you about your stupid suit or like anything like that. But he's still like so kind. And he's like, oh yeah, Dad, it does feel nice. And like, it was really cute and like heartwarming. And then, yeah, he kind of panics when they're giving him the anesthesia. Like before he cries for his mom, he's like, how do you know, I'll be under when I get in there? How do you know it'll just take the whole time I'm in surgery? Like he's panicking, which is okay. It's totally understandable. I'm not saying anything wrong with it. It's a very, very heavy scene for, a movie that has so much comedic relief.
Yeah.
So there is no comedic relief at this point. It's like this scene, I think he goes into surgery, and then they just kind of show the family and Kyle waiting throughout the surgery, until Catherine shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, there really isn't any comedic relief until kind of like the doctor comes out.
And Seth Rogen provides comedic relief, as he should. He handles it well.
Yeah, because the doctor's like, hey, you know, with any kind of level, any kind of surgery of this magnitude, there's always going to be complications. And, you know, we have to like endure certain hoops.
Yeah.
And but he's gonna push through. It's gonna be a long road ahead, but he will pull through. And then Seth Rogen's like, well, you should just fucking lead with that next time. Like, Jesus, like, tell us he's going to be okay. And then, you know, tell us like, they don't really give a shit. Like, how many, I mean, it's been 5 hours. They know it's been fucking rough.
Yeah.
But, like, just tell him my boy's good or not.
Yeah, because it starts off with, like, the surgery was harder than expected. We had to remove more things than expected. We even had to remove a piece of his pelvis. And, like, you're just like, okay.
Yeah, because at any moment it could be like, and you know, I'm sorry that we just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
you know?
you could. So, and like, it's not even like that he didn't make it, but like they could just be like, oh well, you know, like we couldn't remove all the cancer, anything like that.
Yeah. Or he won't walk again. I mean, you know, fuck.
Also, like right before the doctor comes out, Catherine shows up to the surgery, and she kind of overhears like Kyle and Adam's mom saying like, "Oh, it's been longer than they told us for the surgery for Adam." And then she turns around and she's like, "Oh, Adam? You know, he's with the best doctor, blah, blah." And Kyle's like, "Who are you?" She's like, I'm Catherine, but like, she doesn't want to say she's his therapist because that's kind of like awkward. Yeah. And like, Kyle's just like, "Oh, you're the therapist. Yeah, I've heard about you." I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm really a dick. You know, I don't know what he says about me, but I'm not a dick.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm not a dick." And then the mom's like, "I really just want what's best for him." Yeah. And Catherine's like making this face like, okay.
It's like, I smother him because I love him.
Yeah, like they're trying to defend themselves once they know that she's like the therapist. It's so funny.
So, you know, he comes out of surgery. It's rough. But we see like Catherine just waiting until like about 8 to say hi to Adam while he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And, another comedic relief scene, she finally gets the grip on his arm good this time.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, wow, like, you did it. You did it. But he's so high on drugs. He's like, oh, I'm peeing right now.
Oh, yeah. And she's like, I promise I won't look. It's cute. It's cute.
Yeah,
it's like a little cute moment. And then after this, I think Adam is finally home.
Yeah, we fast forward a little bit, probably like a few weeks.
Yeah, and he has hair now.
He has hair
He has hair. His hair looks good.
Yeah.
He looks healthier. Oh, and then Kyle's trying to like apply the ointment to his scar.
He's dressing his giant womb. It's another Seth Rogen chef's kiss session. He's just like, oh God, it's disgusting. It's like Alien or some shit like that. Yeah,
and then like you can tell that Adam is already in like higher spirits because he like puts his hand on his back and like tries to like make it like talk.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen's like, Seth Rogen's character is like, oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he applies the ointment with his finger, and Adam's like, are you using a Q-tip? Is that your finger? He's like, No.
God,
No, I got a Q-tip.
I've
and he's
used a
like,
Q-tip.
did you wash your hands? He's like, yeah. Like, it was so funny. And then there's a knock at the door.
Yeah, who could it be?
And it's Catherine.
Yeah.
And they're on a date. And it's cute because she brought pizza because clearly after the surgery, since they had to remove like so much of his like pelvis and pieces of his spinal cord, like he's still having trouble walking. So he is walking because we see him kind of move a little.
Yeah.
And I think Catherine even makes a comment where she's like, oh, look, like you're walking, you're up. But she brings pizza. So they're just going to have date night at the house, which is really cute. Kyle finally approves of a girl.
Yeah. No, but he just does such a good job because he's saying some shit like, I left the ointment out in case you need to redress it. I left the TV on, and then Catherine's trying to be funny. She's like, oh, so is there any shows that he can't watch or any channels that he can't watch? So he's like, oh, she's funny. Like, I approve of her. Same. Yeah. I approve. Yeah, like they have a back and forth, and clearly you could see there's sparks flying, and I guess that's kind of it. That's the end.
Yeah. They're just like, so what do we do now? And like, obviously before this, like Kyle's trying to like start this whole conversation. He's like, oh, so what did you say like your degree was in? And Adam's like, you need to go. You need to leave my house. Like now.
Get the fuck
out of here. And then they're just cute. They're just going to have their home date. And I don't know. And then that's it. I think she's like literally the last line. I think Catherine is just like, so what do we do now? And like, that's it. It's cute. It's a cute film. I like the comedic relief. I like the emotional aspects of it. I think they did a great job. I think just like encompassing that no matter how bad a situation is, it's never only one thing. There's never only sadness or happiness or, it had a lot of different aspects to it. And I think it's a good movie. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. I definitely appreciate, I agree with what you just said. It's definitely 10 out of 10. You should just watch it. It has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. It'll get you in your feels, but it'll give you enough comedic relief to pull you out of them, Yeah.
It'll make you feel human.
Yeah. You feel good. You feel like a whole bunch of different things.
A whole
That's what you feel. A whole la.
Well, yeah. All right, guys. Well, stay tuned for next week,
where I pick a movie. I have no idea what I'm going to choose.
She has absolutely no idea.
But once again, please reach out if you want us to cover the entire Twilight Saga. I will be here. I will support you supporting me. Okay? Thank you. And...
But yeah, feel free to follow us on Instagram at The Official Podcast. And anything else you have to say, Cass?
Check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Anchor.
Or Google.
Yeah. Till next time. Bye.